Welcome to Young and Finch, the podcast made by Korean millennials. In this week's topic, we're going to be talking about what success means to us.
Hey guys, this is Josh. Before we jump into this week's episode, I just wanted to quickly apologize in advance. I was quite hungover for this one, and so you will notice my voice sounds exceptionally groggy and dead. Please forgive me for that, and bear with me on this one. But hope you enjoy. Thanks.
So I think we have a very interesting episode today. It got me, thinking about a lot, just making the notes. So, who wants to start? I guess I'll start then. All right. So I think this is pretty commonly known, but I think the four aspects of success that I try to prioritize on is relationship, health, finance, and also your overall happiness.
So happiness contributes to happiness?
So let me break it down. So relationships, it's relationships that you have with your friends, your family, your coworkers, and also your strangers. And you know how there's a phrase, it's like you're the average of the 5 closest friend around you. And I think that's very true. So I guess in terms of networking, building connections, providing value, and who you hang around with, I think that's very important in being successful in your life. You don't want to be living in a life where you have all these raggedy ass friends.
Yeah, it's like your support system, right?
Exactly. So that's number 1. Number 2 is health. It's pretty self-explanatory. You want to be healthy. You want to be fit. Health is wealth. I think that's the common phrase that everybody knows. I mean, for me, it's I started working out at university, and both of you guys can attest to this. But when I was in high school, I used to be this really scrawny, super skinny, Asian boy.
Yeah.
But now, I'm not ripped or anything, but I definitely, grew physically and became stronger and things like that. Right, Andrew?
Yeah. If I could remember correctly.
So and definitely there's so many health benefits to working out and just keeping in shape and focusing on your diet. The next aspect I have is finance, and I think this is a very interesting topic because money can mean so many different things to each and one of us, and I want to hear what you guys have to say about that. But I think money is not everything, but money is just an essential part of modern day life. I think I don't want to live in a life where, I'm spending all my life trying to pay bills, and I'd rather have that peace of mind knowing that I have enough money and not have to worry about that, so I can focus on also other aspects of life. I think at the end of the day, I think you have to get your financial situation correct. And lastly, we have happiness. And this is how do you feel every day? You could have all these, you could be healthy, you could be rich, you could have great relationships, but how do you feel every day when you wake up? Are you able to live in the now? Are you, working towards a goal or achievement? I guess, do you have fulfillment in life?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are the 4 main subtopics that I try to focus on, trying to live my everyday life. Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Andrew?
Well, yeah. So I agree with Brian a lot. Obviously, there's the career aspect because people in our age usually have full-time jobs, and most of their 24 hours are allocated towards their jobs. So I think having a meaningful career, whether that be doing the normal 9-to-5 jobs or, maybe they have something that they're passionate about and they want to pursue that, maybe music, as long as it's fulfilling to them and they see a potential and they work towards it. Oh, and also the growth aspect defines a really meaningful career. And obviously that will attribute to money, like Brian said again. Financials are very key to success. If you're financially stable, again, money isn't everything, but at the same time, I think it is a big factor. There's a saying where where it's I'd rather cry in a Lamborghini than something like that, something along the lines of that. And I think a lot of people can relate to what that little saying is. if you're financially stable, you have one thing less to worry about,
Yeah.
right? Like bills, student debt, or mortgages and whatnot. Again, relationship part I really agree with. Having that tight inner circle, whether that be family or friends, that kind of support you through your up and downs in life is important. And just getting rid of toxicity. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Toxicity.
Like
Yeah,
toxic
toxicity.
relationships. Yeah.
And people who always push you is something that is very crucial to, I guess, success in life.
Remember what you said? It's like you don't want to be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah. I think and in life I think there's always going to be ups and downs, but I think the successful people that succeed in life is those who can cope with the failures and use it as a base for their success.
Yeah.
So like, let's say one day that they aren't feeling so happy with their careers or happy with their financial situations or happy with where they're at right as today, where they're at, then they're going to do something about it
Yeah.
and make a long-term goal, and each and every day they're going to execute so that they're going to, in the end, fulfill what they're planning for. I think that's very motivational. Like if you see like a lot of people, like there's this post on Instagram where it mentions how people came or what people came from and then what they're at right now. It's like kind of use that as a motivation if you want to be successful. That's what I'm trying to do.
Like how it started, how it is now. Yeah.
Like how it started and how they are now.
It's like the latest meme, like
Yeah.
the little trend happening.
Yeah.
How about you, Josh?
So surprised that you guys, it's like we all kind of, I guess, are on the same wavelength. It's like success really comes down to like having a balanced life and like having multiple, facets of your life, like flourishing, right? I think basically what you guys touched on was, very similar to my idea of success. Freedom, financial freedom, relational freedom, career freedom, all that stuff, growth, development. Yeah, I agree with everything you guys said, especially the part about, relationships, family, friends, having that strong support system around you, I think is everything when it comes to success. Having people that believe in you and that are encouraging you, I think is everything. One personal goal in terms of success for me, it's like a greedy thing that I have. It's a little more materialistic, but to me, like if I have a nice house, then I feel like, I am successful on top of everything, freedom, fulfillment, family, all that stuff. But like the one thing that I do want later is like a really nice house. And it doesn't have to be a big house, but just a space that is really, I can call my own and I can really, create a home for myself and my family and stuff like that. But yeah, wow, you guys are so not shallow.
No, I think having a house is pretty good. It's like that could be like a goal that you're working on. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I think house contributes to money, like
Yeah.
financial.
If you own a house, you're doing pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
especially in Toronto, like
Yeah.
housing, you know how it is with the housing market. So I guess, yeah, it's like a good landmark. Definitely a good goal to work towards.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you guys, like, what do you guys think money means to you guys? Is it, I guess for some people, people say, oh, money's not everything in life. And then there's the other, group where it's like, oh, money is everything kind of thing.
Yeah.
How do you define money? Like, what's your thought process on money? Obviously, we're all like working individuals, making money and things like that. I just want to hear about what you guys think.
Well, I think money is really crucial. It's a big factor to happiness. I believe that if you don't have money, you're very limited to what you can do, right? Let's say you want to go out, you need money. You want to go for coffee, you need money. Everything stems from money, right? Every activity that you do. And that is a factor of, relationships, because how do you build relationships? You meet people, but you're going to go somewhere to eat or somewhere to drink coffee, somewhere to be, like a house, which needs money. So yeah, I think money isn't everything, but it's like
A necessity.
yeah, it's necessary to do stuff
Yeah.
that makes you happy. It's important.
Yeah.
I think it's
But
important.
what about those people that are not monetarily rich, but they're still happy with their lives?
Like monks,
Like me. Sorry.
like Buddhist monks.
Could be. I mean, there's people that are just happy in general, and they don't necessarily are happy because
Yeah.
of money, right? So I guess that also comes down to your personal lifestyle and choice.
Yeah.
I think it's different because they have different values. But if you're asking me, right, then I would say money's important. If you ask them, they might have a different answer.
Yeah.
But for me, right, where I'm coming from and where I'm living now and what I'm doing at this moment, money is important.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think, how much money do you think is enough? Like, when do you think you'll be happy by?
Yeah, there's actually a saying that people say.
Nice. Got him.
Yeah, so if you make over 100K, everything up after that is kind of the same because you're at that point financially stable and like you earn enough where you don't have to worry about bills.
Yeah.
Oh, 100K a year.
Yeah, it's a good
Okay.
good point too.
Yeah.
So that's my goal. Yeah, make that and then make passive incomes through something else.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like the dream.
Yeah. Like Andrew said, like money, obviously money is a necessity, especially in this day and age, living in a first world country. But I think money essentially when it comes down to it, is just opportunity, right? It's like the opportunity to do more things. And the more money you have, the more opportunities you have, right? And I think that is what drives people to want more money. It's not the number in the bank account, but it's to be able to take that trip to Cabo whenever you want or fly to Italy whenever because you have the means, right? So I think in a way, money can be a form of freedom, right? It just widens up your horizons and what you're able to do, which I think is important. But again, like you said, I agree. It's definitely not everything. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think money is everything, but it's, again, an essential part of living, the modern day life. I've been in a situation where I didn't have a lot of money and that triggered me into becoming more worried, more anxious,
Yeah.
and, just negative outlook about life, I guess. And then also I've been on the opposite spectrum of that. I'm not rich or anything right now, but, where I have more surplus of money, I had a little bit of a, room to go out and, buy food or buy clothes or things like that. And also like treating my friends and things like that too, right? So it's like just having this surplus of money, it gives you like this peace of mind. You're a little bit more relaxed. Like when you wake up in the morning, like the first thing that you think about is not, oh my God, like how am I going to pay my bills? I got my mortgage coming up. How am I going to pay for that? So for sure, I think it is an essential part of life, but at the same time, you don't want to be too consumed by it. Yeah, for sure. It's not everything. And there's, I think, so many people in the world right now that are just money focused. Like everything has to be money and they just kind of ignore what life, actually is. Like in terms of, I don't know, I feel like there's just so many things that life offers us other than money. It's good to work hard and earn money, but I think it's also important to just stop and just kind of enjoy the now and things like that too.
Yeah. I think that goes back to like the balance, right? Just,
Balance, yes.
You want to be financially stable, but you also want to be happy. You want to be free. You want to have strong relationships.
Exactly.
I think your perspective on money strongly, and this might be obvious, but is is dependent on your outlook of money growing up and your exposure to it, right? Because like I grew up in a pretty, poor family as well. And so naturally saving and being more anxious about finances is a thing because it was kind of, I guess, what I grew up with, right? But if someone grew up in like a nice middle to high class family, right? It's like they probably don't see money the same way that I would, right? So do you guys feel like your goals in terms of success and your idea of success changed since like from when you were young to now?
For me, for sure. I 100% agree with that. Because back then when you're young, like especially when you're straight out of university, well, at least for me, at that point of my life, I was just kind of treading the water, just working, like I was making money, but I was just going to work, coming home. That was just kind of like my day-to-day kind of life. And I didn't really know what I was going to do after. It's like I graduated and I was just kind of like, okay, like now what? I guess I should just be working. It was just that, I wasn't really aware of the 4 things that I mentioned. But, like as you grow, like your goals change like monthly to monthly or year to year. you grow, you value different things, you outgrow, things that you thought was important. And, you meet people and you listen to people, and, there's all these different information out there. And I guess that just kind of changes the way you think. Like, for example, like investments, the stock market and things like that. Like, I didn't really know about the possibility of making money through those kind of things until this year. It also, like, real estate investments, like passive incomes and all these different things about like finance. So I think your goals do change over the years based on your priorities. But I guess for me, like, some of the aspects in terms of like relationship and health, those things I did start early without even me knowing. Like, I started working out when I was in university, and I kept at it ever since. Relationships, like, I read a lot about like self-development books, podcasts and things like that, which I think was, like, looking back now, I think it was very monumental to like who I am today. So yeah, I think just straight out of grad, you're like less disciplined. You don't really know what you want to do now. But as you get older, you just kind of understand, the gravity of the real society and how it works. And you're definitely handed with more responsibilities and things like that. So I think your outlook on life certainly changes over time. I'm sure my goals will change 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. But as long as you keep learning, keep trying, and it's like what Andrew said, like, you're going to be hit with failures. That's just inevitable part of life. But the key is you just don't give up, try new things, try different ways. And as long as you keep at it, like, I'm a firm believer that success will eventually come to those people that never give up. And I also believe that when that moment comes, it's not going to be like little bit, it'll be like abundant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Andrew, what about you?
Sorry, what was the question?
I zoned that, Andrew.
Did your ideas of success or your goals in terms of success change?
I think in the overall sense, I don't think it did.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be financially stable, have a stable career, and have a relationship with people. That's what I said, previously. I think little specific areas such as like investing, I've just come to learn, with the money that I save up. It's kind of natural once you graduate and have a job.
Yeah.
In terms of my goals, I think they're pretty much the same as what I had, before graduating university.
Yeah.
So I'm not really thinking that far. I have like 5-year or 10-year plans. I have a general, like, vague place of where I want to be, but in that 5-10 years plan, there's like little things that I want to achieve. So it's like goals and then sub goals between.
Yeah.
But the overall goal didn't really change for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like when I was younger, my goals were a lot more superficial and like materialistic. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to have a closet that was filled with Club Monaco clothes, which is like a Canadian designer clothing brand. And it's like really nice clothes.
Yeah.
I wanted to have I was like, yo, just give me the Club Monaco clothes, give me the Audi A5, and I'm chilling. That was like my goal in uni. And I think, like Brian said, like, once you graduate, once you start working, you kind of get exposed to the real world.
Yeah.
And as you start getting older, I think it's like you start realizing that Club Monaco clothes don't really matter. And health and relationships and balance and living a fulfilling life does, right? And what that means, I think, definitely changes over time, for sure.
Coming back to the point about health,
Yeah.
like, something that I realized was like, I work out, I do all these dieting and things like that. But now for me, it's all about like the small details, like about mobility, like how flexible are you? Like, when you wake up in the morning, like, do you have pain like in your shoulder or your neck?
Your dick?
I mean, nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? Sorry. But I guess, like, for me, because I work in healthcare, I'm always like on my foot, like running around, things like that. Whereas you guys are working from home kind of thing. Over, like, in the long run, like, just being on your feet can take a toll on your body.
Yeah, for sure.
For now, for me, I'm trying to like focus on those small things, like areas of my body where I do have some tension and things like that. Because I think even though you guys work from home, you can all agree to the fact that our body is not the same as it was like maybe in the early 20s.
Yeah.
Like we're starting to feel the effect of like aging to a certain degree. Well, for me at least.
Yeah. So do you guys have 5-year or 10-year goals?
I'll
So Andrew,
figure out
you
some.
talked about
I'm sure I have some.
you touched on
Yeah.
5-10-year goals. What are yours?
Yeah, so this is very vague, and I'm sure everyone has like 5-10 year visual like imaginations of what they want to be.
Yeah.
Like it could be very general. For me, we're in our mid 20s right now. So in 5 to 10 years, we're gonna be around 30, early to mid 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, in that age is where most guys, I would say, are married,
Mhm.
have a place. It could be a house or it could be an apartment, and it's like at that age, you think about having kids,
Mm-hmm.
where you have a pretty like mid-level intermediate type job,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that itself is a goal.
Yeah.
For me, I just want what everyone else has. You know, you have people in your like socials that post their house, and then they have like housewarming.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that seems pretty cool, right? It seems, and to have someone that's like your significant other, that you're obviously like engaged or wifed up, and then sharing that with like your boys that
Mhm.
also have their significant others. It's like,
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty. Like, I haven't done that ever in my life, so
Yeah.
trying those things will be an experience.
Andrew's
It's
just
like-
trying to get wifed up right now.
I am looking for a
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Fill out your applications.
well, not now, because I'm still like in my mid 20s, so maybe in
We will
like
accept all applicants.
maybe in 3 years, and then date for 2 years, and then wife them up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want what everyone else wants. Just be stable in life, be comfortable. I think you got to spend your 20s being uncomfortable, trying to learn new things and
Yeah.
develop yourself. But after, it's like, I think 30s you should do it too, but it's kind of slowing down at that point where you have other things to worry about. Just kind of grind for a couple more years and then shift my gears into something more relationship based would be my goal.
True. For me, I have being an engineering background. I guess the level of achievement that I think is pretty standard is becoming a licensed professional, and that goes with any industry, right? If you're in accounting, if you're in business, if you're in medicine or health, you want to be a licensed professional, and I think that's an achievement that I would want to meet. I would want to become a licensed PNG. Some other goals I have is I actually want to be an owner of something, not only like a house, but some kind of business, like a brick and mortar business, like a cafe or restaurant or like a retail store. I've always wanted to own something, and I think being able to own a business that's not related to my field of work, which is engineering, I think would add another facet of my life, another business in another industry. And I think I love the food industry, so being part of that would be awesome. But yeah, other goals I have similar to Andrew, like being married, being a homeowner. It might sound a little cushy, it might sound a little safe, but I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with with wanting to be married and have kids and have dinner parties when you're in your early 30s or late 20s or late 30s
Next year?
or next year.
Nah, I can't imagine Andrew with a kid.
Imagine Andrew with the Andrew Jr.
My kid's gonna be sick. No cap like Colin.
No.
I think you'd be a good business owner, though. I think you told me this. You wanted to have like a cafe and things like that. I could definitely see you like with a little apron on, like,
What?
like making coffee in the back.
What about you, Brian?
No, for sure. Me too. It's like I eventually want to be a business owner, and I work in healthcare, so I think my goal right now is to open up like a medical,
Like your own practice.
yeah, my own practice.
That's so sick.
And yeah, I think I want to be a business owner and things like that. But I'm always open to new ideas too. It's like I thought about that too. It's like if I can get, like, I'm always thinking of ideas. It's like if I can get a place maybe in like Young and Finch and
Hey.
just like open up a cafe or things like that. Like I don't know anything about like the food industry and like how to make like donuts or
Yeah, me
pastries
neither.
and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be really cool to manage things like that.
So what you're saying is we're opening the Young and Finch Cafe in 5 to 10 years?
Maybe.
Let's get it, baby.
Maybe.
I don't think we could do it in 5 years.
Huh?
Maybe you could do it in 5 years.
Definitely can't do it in 5
No.
years.
Maybe. We'll see. I think success also has a lot to do with your mindset too. It's like if you say that you can't do it, let's say you're confronted with a situation and if your mind is automatically saying no, then you've already lost.
You already lost.
You already lost. Like there's no way of
Just take the L.
I guess I lost.
But if you rather than saying that you can't do it, I like to rephrase it as like, how can I do it? You know? It's like, how can I get this car? How can I get this real investment? That's much better thinking than saying, oh, like I'm not gonna do it. Because once you say I'm not gonna do it, your brain already shuts down and you're not even thinking about possibilities. This is not something like that I thought about. This is like something that I read. Like one of the books that changed my life was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm not bullshitting. I'm not making this up by myself. I'd rather learn from people who's been there and that's done things and sharing down their wisdom on me. And I try to go by that, and it makes sense, right? It's like if you give up instantly, then nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But if you keep trying and if you find other ways of doing it, then maybe you might still fail, but at the same time, you never know what's gonna happen either, too, right?
Even like it might sound a little hooky dooky, but like even speaking your success into, you know, just like saying it out loud, which it can be kind of weird, but like, you know, like manifesting your success and your goals, even verbally, you know, like telling yourself that this is gonna happen, that you can do it.
Constantly.
It
right?
sounds kind of weird, and if someone hears you saying it, they'll be like, "What the hell's wrong with Brian talking to himself?" But
Yeah.
honestly, that's like a huge boost to your own morale. And even if that's all you get, like that's such a big boost in terms of motivation. No,
So
I
you got to
agree.
believe in yourself first.
If you believe, you can achieve. Did you guys have specific role models in terms of like people that kind of shape that idea of success in your life?
Role models by J. Cole. Yeah, for me, I don't have a specific role model, but you know, there's a lot of famous YouTubers or like Instagram. You see a lot of influencers that talk about where they came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
who?
Gary Vaynerchuk. No, I'm just saying as an example. I don't watch
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
but just as
Do you follow him?
No.
Oh.
But not even in that sort of field, but other types of YouTubers like
Casey Neistat.
like gaming, like this guy talked about
VSAT?
earlier, Toast, when he got his first 1 million subscribers, like half a year ago.
Yeah.
He has 2 million now, so like he grew exponentially. But
Yeah.
when he first did his Q&A kind of, or I guess biography, when he got his first mil, he talked about what he did to get to that point.
Mm.
And in the beginning, he kind of touched upon his grind. Like what he said on his biography was, well, not biography, in his video was that he would wake up early, like 6 a.m. and post the game that he was playing at the time, which was Hearthstone, I think, about like some tactics that he could do on Reddit. And then he started building repertoire, and his name and his brand kind of grew from there. And he knew that he couldn't make money off of Reddit. I think the logistics there at that time wasn't fully set up. So he kind of transitioned to YouTube, where he posts like tutorials, right? And slowly he built his brand through like consistency, and I think consistency was one of his main things. And then if you see like other people, it's pretty much similar commonalities where they're really consistent in what they do and they just don't quit. Just seeing how they came from and how they grew is the motivational factor, right? And then how they talk about what they had to do itself is motivational to me. So I don't, again, have a particular role model, but I have a bunch of people that succeeded, and them telling their stories is, I guess, the motivational role model of what I like to look up to. You know what I'm saying?
No, that makes sense. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I'm like similar to Andrew. I don't have like one person that I look up to. I think I have many different individuals that I can just take like bits and pieces. Like I want this thing from this guy, this thing from this guy. And I guess just those ideas I implemented and see how it works in my life and just kind of give and take what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
How about you, Josh?
So when I actually went to Korea in 2012, we went to Jeju-do, which is the island at the south side of Korea.
Island?
Super nice, amazing island, beautiful beaches. But there we met with my dad's friend who actually did some construction work in Korea, and he was pretty successful at what he did. And he actually built his own house on Jeju-do, and he established his life, his firm. He was successful, but he was also giving back to the community. He was involved in the churches, I guess. And so if people were visiting Jeju-do that needed to stay at a place, he was willing to open up his house for free and stuff like that. So
what's his address?
Don't worry about it, bro. But I guess that was kind of my first exposure, especially at that young of an age. I was kind of like, you know, back to like the materialistic part of me that was like, I want a car, I want clothes, I want, you know, monetary success. But seeing someone who was, you know, established and was giving back and kind of living that balanced lifestyle, like we said, you know, like having multiple facets of his life thrive, that I think was my first kind of exposure to like what success really felt like and what success really looked like, I guess. And he looked happy. I think that was the biggest thing. He was very happy with what he was doing. He was just like a happy guy, and I was like, damn, like that guy seems successful.
I think what a lot of people don't see with successful people is also the amount of, you know, failures and breakdowns and, you know, disappointments and all those things.
Yeah, for sure.
People just look at a successful person and be like, oh, like he got lucky, or, you know, they try to bash that person. But what they don't realize is the amount of sacrifice and hard work. Successful people become successful. It's like there's a reason why they're happy, because they put their self into all that grind and they believed in themselves, and it worked, right?
Yeah.
And that's called winning. That's how you win in life, right?
I think that's why it's hard to be in the public eye, like an influencer or social media person or YouTuber. It's like someone like PewDiePie, right? He probably gets so much shit, but people don't realize like the amount of work that him and many other influencers put in, right? And then their life is kind of put on the spot in public, and then they're you know, victim to all this, you know, shit talking and people just hating on them. But they don't, you know, people don't realize and people don't see, like you said, like those downfalls, the struggle, the grind, the climb, right? And that's I don't know. You're right.
It's usually the people that are like miserable with their life.
Yeah.
That have nothing going on, and
all those internet trolls and shit.
Yeah. There's a reason why they, you know, look down upon other people's success, because they can't do it themselves, you know.
Or they're just trolls.
Well,
Like Andrew.
Yeah, I'm a troll.
Andrew's a troll.
I'm a troll.
Dirty troll. Go back under your bridge.
go back to your cave, bro.
So, do you guys have any regrets so far in your life? If you could go back, would you fix anything? Would you do anything differently?
I mean, it's like kind of a personal mantra. Like I really try not to regret anything. You know, I think even the worst experiences, I'm always like, I try to see it in a positive light. But during uni and stuff, there's some time here and there where I could have gone somewhere or traveled to places and
You can still do that.
explored. Yeah, I definitely can, you know. And once COVID's over, I'm definitely going to. But I think that's something that I'm realizing it's really valuable, right? And these ideas of going to these places and not really doing it, I think can be detrimental later on, right? Like I don't want to be 40 and not have experienced Europe, you know, or like Oceania or different parts of Asia, right? And so I think that's one thing that I would have done more of back then, and I definitely will do more of moving forward. And the other one is just, I guess, being smarter with my money. I don't think by any means I was stupid or reckless, but I definitely wish I saved more of my money during university, just so I have more leverage right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm definitely feeling it, especially with COVID and everything. Like I'm definitely feeling it, but yeah. What about you,
For
Brian?
me, it's like very similar to you. I don't have much regrets. I think, you know, like the failures and disappointments in my life is what made me today. but I guess I wish I saved more of my money and used it in a better way. Like if you guys invested in, like an SP 500 index, when you're 18, there's like an 8% compound interest. And if you contributed $500 every month to that index fund, by the time you retire, that would have ballooned into over $1 million.
Secure in the bag.
So it's like, I wish I started investing earlier, because the more time that you spend in the market is better in the long term. And also I wish I networked and made better friends when I was in university.
Yeah.
I think in university, those are, times where you make lifelong friends and things like that. So I think I wish I had a better understanding about like what I was looking for in terms of friends, rather than just going out on a weekend to, go drink and party or whatever. Also, like taking care of my body in terms of stretching, like getting massages and going to the doctors and things like that. Sometimes my body's a struggle, bro. Sometimes
You wake up and it's just
yeah,
not working.
like my lower back. But
Jeez.
other than that, I'm pretty content. And doesn't mean I can't have it better in the future, right?
Facts.
Yeah.
Andrew?
Yeah, I think for me, I just wish I studied harder in university. When I studied in university, I see that I cut corners a lot. So just study harder and take the right approach rather than the quick approach. Because I think that way everything sticks to my head a lot better and I could retain the knowledge. But other than that, I don't really have regrets. In university, there should be some leeway to usually go out and party.
Yeah.
Right, so after graduation, you can't really, you won't have the time for it. So, yeah, I don't really have regrets. I think
Would you have
And-
studied the same courses or different?
probably different courses, but I think I mentioned that in the last episode.
Oh,
I think by studying harder and by getting my grades up, I think I would have more opportunity to things that I would like to do more. And I think I should have taken my internships more seriously because I wasted my last
Facts.
internship when a lot of people take that as a transition to full time, but I kind of took it as whatever. I wasn't really thinking about my future. If I could go back, I would probably change that.
wait, I have one last topic before we end. If you guys can give any advice about what success is and things like that, or how you can be more like successful and things like that to our listeners, what would you guys recommend?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of when you first go to school, there's a lot of people that are in the older years that tell you to study hard and do this,
Yeah.
but no one really listens
Yeah,
until you get to that age, and then it's like a cycle, right?
it's like
So,
hear it as a nag.
Yeah, it sounds like a nagging.
Yeah.
But my advice is stay in school, study harder,
Don't do drugs.
party, but don't party too much.
Yeah.
Stick to your goals, and don't worry about failures because everyone goes through it. But
Yeah.
not everyone might take it, and that's okay. Because I didn't take what my 선배s, we call it, people that are older than us, tell us.
Yeah.
So I just kind of learned by living.
So
Yeah.
you're trying to say is like study hard so there's more options for you, like post grad or med school or
No, just study
lawyer
hard
and
because
things like that.
study
just
hard
good-
just
good
because
habits,
yeah,
yeah.
good habits, and just it'll take you far in life kind of
True.
thing.
My one word of advice would be actually what Brian said earlier. Health is wealth, right? Take care of yourself. Mental health, physical health.
Yes, mental health for sure.
Working is great, and I think that point that I want to emphasize is, money really isn't everything. Working yourself to the ground can be detrimental, and it's really not healthy. So not stressing too much about money and job, but focusing on everything, right? Like being cognizant of your finances, but also your family and your friends, and your goals and your growth. Like just try to focus on everything, right? And growing as a balanced person. I think that's the the foundation for success. Bars. What about you, Brian?
For me, I got a few things down here. Just remember that what you feed to your mind is the biggest game changer.
Yeah.
So whatever you see on social media, news, don't believe everything that you see. Make your own judgment. Develop self-awareness and those things like that, whether it be through meditation, but just being aware of how your mind operates and what you think about on a day-to-day basis, and just just having overall self-awareness about the way you think is super important. And also, whatever your goals is, whether it be money, health, whatever, rather than looking at the big picture, just break those things into smaller achievable steps. For example, I think when people want to become like super healthy and super ripped, they just want that quick instant, oh, I want to be ripped by like in a month. But rather than looking at the big pictures, break it down to smaller things. It's like maybe, I'll start working out 3 times a week. I'll start eating less chips. Break it down into smaller things, and those small victories, build up over time, and you're eventually gonna get closer to your goals. And also learn, never stop learning, whether it be through reading, listening to podcasts, talking to the right people, mentors, and things like that. And lastly, I want to say is like, keep your head down and get to work, but don't forget to stop, take a break, have a sip of water, look back, and just kind of see how far you've come. Congratulate yourself, pat yourself in the back, but also just enjoy life. Not everything about life is grinding and working hard. Just take things slow sometimes. Go out with your friends, go out with your family, go out for beer with your closest mate, things like that. So it's all about balance. Yeah, it's a wrap for this one.
Yeah.
I think that was a good episode.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. A bit more serious, but I think
it's
good.
enjoyable.
What a fucking default statement. Yes, that was enjoyable.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know if anything, resonated with whatever I said. We got our Instagram. Follow us at The Young and Finch. Follow us on Spotify. The whole deal.
Yeah.
If you guys have any successful stories or have any other ideas about becoming successful or anything related to the topic, let us know. And yeah, that's a wrap. I guess we'll see you guys next week.
And we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace out.
Wait, so are we getting 3 jampongs?
짬뽕이 더 맛있어.
Let's not. I wasn't.
맛있겠다.
Let's get kápungi.
I'm down for both.
짬뽕이's not good there.
I tried too. It's pretty good.
I tried both. They're both pretty good.
Exactly.